Nicolas Tesla was the scientific genius of the 20th century, and if he was alive today, he'd be the scientific genius probably of the first part of the 21st century. He had understood many things about the nature of our reality. He'd understood about the electromagnetic fields that you can access and turn into usable warmth and power, which the cabal that owns the energy industry of the world has been suppressing because it doesn't want people to have access to this free energy, which we could have. And by the way, the same people who are saying we must lower carbon emissions because of global warming, which is another nonsense, this human-caused global warming lie, they're the same people that are suppressing the development of use of free energy technology, which Tesla developed and understood, which could eliminate the carbon power systems, immediately. What HAARP does is it fires radio waves, very, very focused and very powerful, into the upper atmosphere known as the ionosphere. It entrains, as they say. It gets the ionosphere to vibrate in sympathy with the radio wave. And this creates a situation where this entrainment adds massive, massive, massive power to the original radio wave, and then it's bounced back to Earth, massively greater power, and they can hit a specific spot on the Earth. And if they can hit somewhere which is vulnerable in terms of earthquakes anyway, and they can do it at a specific frequency, because earthquakes have a frequency like everything does, then they can cause an earthquake and they can cause a tsunami. And they can cause, with the same principle, they can cause very great extremes of weather, like hundreds of unprecedented tornadoes that appeared in 2007 and killed hundreds of people in America. And, people say, oh, no, you can't mess with the weather, it's ridiculous. Well, hold on a second. There are international treaties which countries have signed saying that it's illegal to manipulate the weather and to use it as a weapon of war. Well, they're not going to have those treaties unless they know it's possible. It's ridiculous. We have a situation where, yes, of course there are natural earthquakes, but they don't all have to be. And you can bomb somewhere from an aircraft, or you can cause devastating earthquakes and devastating weather events. And you can bring countries to their knees that way. And in many ways, people within the establishment, they know that Fukushima and that earthquake and tsunami and everything, they know it was created. It wasn't a natural event. And what that says to them, and what they're saying to them with that event is, if you say no to us, look what we can do. If they want to bring Japan to its knees, they've got to find a way, like they did in with the two, Hiroshima and Nagasaki at the end of the Second World War. But today they would have to find an excuse to send the boys in. Well, they can't find an excuse. So instead of that, we'll go the way that they have, because Japan is over. It's over. The amount of radiation that has been released into the Earth's atmosphere is potentially catastrophic. The amount that's been released in the immediate area around Japan and the wider Japan is unthinkably catastrophic. And people are already starting to go down with the effects of it, and we've seen nothing yet. Well, this is what's happening in the real world because of this technology that they have. And, Tesla, in an interview with the New York Times in the 1940s, I think it was, maybe a bit earlier, he said that he had the technology to split the Earth in half. Then he was producing lightning around his home in New York. The neighbors were calling the police. He was causing kind of mini earthquakes, getting the Earth to shake because of the technology he had, and thousands of windows were breaking before he could switch it off. And Bernard Eastland, the man who applied, first of all, for the patent for the technology that is used in HARP, based in Alaska. But there's connecting technology all around the world. That's just the main focal point. He mentions Tesla when he's applying for the patent. It's Tesla technology. And if Tesla could, do that devastation he said he could do back in the 1930s and 40s, what the heck can they do now? So you have a situation in 2010 when in the run-up to it, in the years running up to 2010 around Haiti, it was established that there were major resources under the sea in Haiti waters. In 2010, this devastating earthquake brings the end to Haiti. It just so happened, that the American military were having an exercise at exactly the same time that was based on a scenario of reacting to, I think it was a hurricane or something like that, hitting Haiti. And they were down in Florida doing their exercise. And then the earthquake happened and they said, we just switched from exercise to real thing. And they were in there in no time. And if you remember, the aid agencies that were trying to land in Port-au-Prince in Haiti, they were saying, in the immediate days after the earthquake, the American military have taken over the airport, so they're not letting us in. They took the place over. And then along came Clinton and Boyd Bush as the people that were going to front up the Haiti Reconstruction Fund, and then they disappeared, and Haiti, virtually nothing's been done, because the idea was to destroy Haiti, take it over, because then you've got the resources. And you can do that with an earthquake. How are they going to justify destroying Haiti by dropping bombs on it? I mean, they're not going to do it. But you can do it through HARP and earthquakes. And scientists who've done research into the effect of what they call ELF waves, extremely low frequency waves, and how they can manipulate us mentally, emotionally, and physically. There was one particular area of research into something called the woodpecker signal. People might remember this, when the Soviet Union was found to be broadcasting a signal into the United States. It was called the woodpecker signal because it went like a woodpecker, like that. And what it was doing was broadcasting information in this signal into the United States in an attempt to influence the perceptions and views and thoughts of the population. And what these scientists found is what this woodpecker signal was doing was connecting into the power grid, as they put it, being radiated by the power grid, it given greater power. And it was going into the homes and being broadcast into the homes through the light fittings. Now, that was a case of hacking in to an electricity grid and light fittings that were not purpose-built to do that. They just hacked into the electricity grid as it has been up to this point.